Gentlemen, we have a fine Bula ahead of us. We've got Missy in the frickin' building. Well, outside of the building, but you know what I'm talking about. So, let's do that. Your drinks, your protein shake, your caffeine, your kava, your matcha, whatever you got. Put it up. Bulation Nation. It's a celebration. Life only has blessings for us. And to say that, I know a lot of things that may get in the way of feeling like life has a lot of blessings for us. And one of the things that we filter our perspective through sometimes is that things are happening to us, but they're actually happening for us. I think one of the best pieces of advice I got was from an old head in the kava scene in Florida. And he said, remember, you are exactly where you need to be at all times. It may not look pretty sometimes, but you need to be there to learn something for your next stage of life. And once I started putting that perspective into use, I really started to see how life was really happening for me and not at me. But one of the things that has to happen for that paradigm shift to occur is, I was actually having a conversation with my girlfriend's daughter. So basically, my youngin', I am her guardian. I play Destiny, so I don't like saying that. Because I was asking her to go along with the inside voice thing, you know, impairing you from having the paradigm lens shift of seeing life happening for you and not to you. And the thing that gets in that way is your head voice. So she was doing something today that I kind of got on her for. And I saw her acting a bit out of character, but also she was a little scared of getting in trouble and all that stuff. Once the conversation and, you know, the learning was done, I asked her, hey, what was your head voice saying when all that stuff was going on, when I was kind of getting on to you to figure out what was happening? And she said it was telling me to be quiet and not say anything. And then I shift the perspective on her. I was like, well, did you see how when we didn't do that to help the situation, how that actually got you in actual trouble? She was like, yeah. So I was able to teach her, at least in that moment, for this one time, that sometimes what your head voice says is what's going to get you in trouble or going to keep you from leveling up. And the scary thing is, in her age, the head voice is hers. But what's going to happen through life is that head voice, those insecurities and things that are going to speak to her, that bad conscience and good conscience, are going to be other people. And I know a lot of us that we've gone through life, all these different years in school and additional education, whether it be for some kind of practice like an EMT or welding and just formal education, that a lot of those things are other people's voices. But the scariest one is our own voice. When our own voice tells us, you can't do that. When our own voice tells us our life is never going to get better because of the situation we were born into, the kind of body we have. We're not smart enough for something. We don't have the genetic potential to perform at X or Y thing. Which, for me to tangentialize on the genetic potential thing, very few people, and I mean single-digit percentage of people, ever reach any level of competition or, I don't know, scholastic thing, or having the genetics for it matter. Like, genetics factoring into someone, let's say with a physique standpoint in bodybuilding, only really matter when it's like IFBB Mr. Olympia Pro stuff. At that point, it's like, sorry, dude, that guy just has better pec insertions than you and it looks better on stage. Sorry. That's when it matters at that point, right? But when you're some local guy going to like the Memphis bodybuilding show, probably not, man. Probably not. So, to bring that back in, I know for me, a lot of things growing up, it wasn't really my voice, but when it was my voice limiting myself, dude, that shit hit, and it really did keep me from doing things. But in the same token, when it was my voice motivating me, it outweighed any other memory that was invigorating, motivating, or like refreshing. When it was my voice talking to myself in hard situations or in critical situations to push me through them or to have some presence of mind and persevere, man, I performed fucking great, right? I'll give you a good example. Back when I was in boot camp, one of the things that I thought of in my mind was that my girlfriend at the time literally being like a cheerleader, like, come on, babe, you can do this, push through this, like, life's gonna get amazing for you after this, like, I believe in you, all those things, all the great things you want to hear. And ultimately, like, that wasn't giving me enough oomph when things were tough, and when I wanted to use it, right, to like just outdo someone in a situation, in like a lift or of some kind of PT exercise. It wasn't giving me the oomph. Then one day, I was on a bus and I was going down a spiral because we were doing like a 4-hour trip out of Parris Island to go to a logistics base in Georgia because a hurricane was coming through. And on that bus, everything was still for a time. And I don't do good when it's still and I got a lot on my mind because I can just immerse myself in the action and forget about what's going on. But in those 4 hours, I started to beat myself up really, really bad. It got to the point where I thought about giving up, and I almost let myself believe that I should give up. And then I asked myself, who the heck am I? Who the hell talks to themselves like this? This is not normal. And I almost grabbed that thought, balled it up like a paper, and then just tossed it in the bin and lit it on fire. I was like, And with that decision of, give me this thought, boom, throwing it away, dude, I felt invigorated. Finished training, kicked butt, came back home. Bunch of stuff happened with my girlfriend at that time. Found out she cheated on me, but whatever, it is what it is. Don't go into the military with a relationship in mind unless y'all are married. And even then, that may get in the way. But that's a whole other conversation for a whole other time. Don't even worry about what I just said. You know what? Just forget about it. Either way, those voices that limit us from doing things are sometimes are like really passive ones. And the worst ones are when I like to say the voices are turncoats. A good example. My current pursuit in life, nobody really understands. Not really nobody. I actually got motivated by a close friend of mine to do this. And my girlfriend, she's believes in me 9,000-fold and is also motivating me to continue to pursue this. But some other people in the auxiliary don't understand. And it's crazy when you have a group of friends or family that growing up, they're really motivating and they're with you. And then as soon as you do something outside of the scope of their limitations that they have on you, those voices change in your mind from being very motivating to disparaging. That's a bad one, dude. That one hits, bro. And I feel like everybody at least goes through that once in their life when they're in a relationship or they're growing up and, you know, people have like an FTE, a fuck this event, or they have like a big self-actualization and they go, dude, you know what? Now that I have this nostalgia trip, I'm going to pursue this because I love it. I'm going to pursue, I brought this up before, card games because I love it, dude. Like, my God, I was away from Magic for 10 years and then I played the current standard format and I fell in love with it and I just remembered as a kid how much I wanted to be a pro and just be in cards, create community, and motivate others. And I threw that away because of some false sense of security that people told me to do. And in those moments, those people that were happy for you with the mundane life you built for yourself because of the limitations they set on you, they go from being motivating voices that got you into like that trading your life in for like a suit and a pen and just being there and just pushing emails all day. They're like, what are you talking about? Why would you abandon this? It's just crazy because in reality they're saying, why would you abandon this mundane security for pursuing your truest self? And I think that's why the turncoat voices are so dangerous. Because you go from like being around your friends and family that are watching you graduate from like high school and college or your masters and doctorates or whatever you're doing, and they're celebrating, and then out of nowhere you're doing something that to them is uncharacteristic and that they can't understand. And then their voices in your mind start to become doubtful. Being able to think back and like, dude, my mom was always so supportive, even through like my master's degree and then through like this program and through that. And then now that voices mean something different to you in your mind. But let me tell you in the words of Joey Badass, Success is the best form of revenge. And sometimes when those turncoat voices happen, the louder they are in your mind, it's the more you want to win inherently. You want to win so bad, and you want to defy your current life so bad to be successful and happy and leading and just overall the hymn of your life and motivate others, that your mind is constantly working on you and being negative to you. But it's because it's like negative frequency attacking your potential to keep you from where you're supposed to be going. And it's up to you to decide if those voices are going to continue to lead your life, even when they're positive, because like we said, your family and friends were helpful for you or motivating for you and loyal through the process of you growing into the mundane. But now that they turn coat because you're pursuing your highest self, which also scares them because they never did that themselves, can you use that noise as energy? Can you grab all that negative pressure and become a diamond? Or are you just going to crush to dust? And that's all up to you. Only you can decide what that pressure does to you. And if you're in that moment now, or if you felt that moment before, and that's what made you give up what you were pursuing, but you have that gnawing hunger in you to go back into pursuing yourself and your love for anything in your life, pursue any progress in any facet of your life, to lead with and enjoy and just do what you're meant to do here on this earth, which is enjoy yourself, motivate others, have an overflowing chalice to help others. Hit me up, dude. Let's figure out how to channel your pressure into success. Because like I just said, pressure makes diamonds. And those voices are that pressure. But a small shift can turn the negative words into positive pressure. The words may still be negative, but understanding that they are there to motivate you. It's like sharp sticks on a bear in a cage. Inevitably, that bear is going to break out of that cage and maul everything around it. So you need to contain that beast that you're cultivating. Let that energy poke at it so it can be unleashed and thrive where you're going. And if that sounds like a skill that you want to attain or hone, connect with me, dude. I've been a little bit too much, but it's all been to my service. It's all been to my service for me to grow to the point where I am today, to also give back to you guys. And I will say fitness was a great part of that. I've had some of my best ideas and some of my best moments of self-actualization in the gym. I'm like, damn, that's why that happened. Or man, that's why that upsets me so much. Having an outlet for energy to kind of dump into has been incredible. And the best part about the gym is I can have fun gym sessions, nice and hard gym sessions, or heavy ones, right? And all of them are of service to me in some way, shape, or form. So I will say, if you do want some kind of physical thing to do to help move the gears in your mind and shift that pressure into being positive, take a physical hobby up. Go running, gym, whatever. But if those voices are still overpowering, hit me up on Instagram. It'll be in my description. Let's connect. Let's do this life thing together, because community always conquers negativity. Since the big dawn of mankind to now, communities and groups that work together towards the same goal have been the thing that always are high level successful and have a high level of success and are high achievers. And if you want an excuse to start pursuing your highest self and believing in yourself, tell them some random guy on YouTube that's pretty jacked said I should. And I bet whoever's making you doubt yourself, they can't bench more than me, bro. They can't. I'm 170 moving 315. So yeah, if they want to try you, just let them know that I sent you towards your highest self and most loving form. And also get in the gym. Because when you're jacked, who can tell you what to do? Nobody. Your delts crush rocks. You're incredible. Let's enjoy our weekend. Let's turn our negative pressure into positive pressure and become diamonds. And remember, if nobody believes in you, I believe in you.